Hey everyone, welcome to Cupboard Creations. My name's Gareth and this is my little corner of the internet playing with my food. Good to see you back if you've been watching this whole series, but we're back in the world of lamb. So we're now doing a kind of slightly more delicate, but probably slightly harder than some of the other recipes. But we're going to make a lamb and Dauphinoise Pithivier. And I'll let you into a little secret where I came up with this idea. I was watching Bake Off and they had a Pithivier on there and I thought actually that could be awesome with some lamb in it. So we're going to make a kind of Dauphinoise potatoes, but not oven cooked, you know, we'll just make it in a pan. We'll use that with the lamb, some onions, just to kind of make this beautiful tasting pie. So we're going to start nice and simple. You want to grab yourself an onion and you want to slice this into little sort of semicircles. Not too thickly, not too thinly, kind of thickly. So probably about 1/2 centimetre or so. There we go, so that's the onion done. Nice little semicircles like that. And then you're just going to grab yourself some garlic. Now I know we've got garlic already in that lamb, but I want to add a load more because I just think this really kind of just works so well with it. Once you get the creaminess of the potatoes and stuff like that, the garlic really comes through really nicely. So you're going to use 3 cloves of garlic. You just chop them up really small. There we go, that's the garlic done. So now we're going to head straight over to the hob and get those kind of sweating down. Okay, so into your pan, just going to put maybe a tablespoon of olive oil. And then we're going to pop those onions in. We're going to sweat those down for about 5 minutes, just until they're nice and softening. So, nice and easy. Great, so those onions are softening. We're just going to add in that garlic, give it another 3 minutes. We don't want the onions too soft because I want a little bit of bite. And they're going to cook in the kind of Dauphinoise stuff anyway. So we can pop that lid on, leave that for another 3 minutes or so, just soften that garlic a little bit, and then turn it straight off, and we can head over and start prepping the potatoes. Okay, so our onions and garlic are now softened. We're going to add in a few little ingredients to this. So we're going to put the sauce in first, just helps cool the pan down a bit. So you're going to want 150 ml whole milk. So we'll go like so. Just pop that in. And then you want 150 ml of double cream. Now, I promise you this is not hugely good for you, this mill, but it does taste really, really good. So, double cream in there. Oh, I can already feel my arteries expanding slightly, but I love it. And then we're going to add 1/2 teaspoon grated nutmeg. So, be gentle with it because it's quite strong. So pop that in, lovely job. And now we can prep those potatoes. So all you're going to do is skin them and then cut them into little rounds. So about, again, 1/2 centimetre, about the same size you did the onions. And you're probably going to need about 300 grams potatoes. Probably go slightly less. But any you've got left over from the Dauphinoise, just have alongside it. Really nice. What you can do here as well, you don't have to be perfect circles. So if you're worried about the knife, just chop them in half and then you can do little semicircles. It's not a problem. You're never going to see them once they're inside. You know, you don't see it. It's not like a Dauphinoise where you can see all of the little bits of potato. It's hidden in pastry. So don't worry about it. Okay, so that's the last of my potato in. And then we're just going to give it a good mix up. I'm using my hands because I've tried doing this with a spoon, but it doesn't work. Got nice clean hands. So there we go. All nicely mixed in. Now we can just take that straight over to the hob, get it on the boil. Okay, so last thing, just pinch of salt and pepper, get that in. And then we're going to bring that up to the boil and then simmer it. So once it's boiling, kind of lower the heat down, get it simmering away for about 15 minutes. You just want it on like a nice gentle simmer, and that will cook those potatoes through. And they will cook slower in this than they would in water. So if you put those in boiling water and then went crazy, they'd be cooked in 5 minutes, but this will take a little bit longer. So we're just going to pop the lid on, fire it up, and I'll see you when they're done. Right, 15 minutes up, so lovely. Looking great, so we can turn that off, and then we're going to leave that to cool right down, because we don't want to be putting hot stuff onto pastry because it will just everywhere. So we're going to leave that cool right down, and then we'll crack on, put the whole thing together. So here we go, now time to put it all together. It's all cooled down. We're just going to dust our work surface with a little plain flour. As usual, I'm probably going to over dust. Not too bad today. Give that a good spread out. And then you want to grab yourself some puff pastry. And you're going to want about 350 grams. So let's grab that. So you can use the ready rolled stuff. It's probably easier. I just find sometimes it's just not quite big enough, especially with this where you need to do 2 discs. So that's about right. And then we're going to chop that because we want 2 discs. So one slightly smaller, we're going to roll to probably about 8 inches, and one to about 10 or 11 inches, just so it fits nicely over the top. So probably going to want about that. So there we go, first one done. All I need to do now, just cut a nice circle, get rid of those bits, and there we go. It's going to be about the thickness of a £1 coin, be about spot on for this. So we can do that, dust that off, and then grab yourself a tray. Now it's so much easier to make this in the tray because it's quite a large pie, so getting it out, you're trying to pick it up and put it in a tray is a real pain. So what I'm going to do is grab my tray. I'm just going to smear a little bit of vegetable oil on, because that always helps. That's not vegetable oil, back in a sec. There we go. So yeah, vegetable oil, a little bit just smeared, just kind of helps it crisp up on the bottom. And you don't get that nice horrible soggy bit. So we'll rub that in. And then pop that on top. Lovely. Now for the second one. Having to freehand this one because I haven't got anything else for it, but that's fine. So that's slightly bigger than the other one, and that's perfect. So we can just put that to the side, and then we can start layering this up. So what we want to do is grab yourself a spoon and then get some of those potatoes and just layer them nicely over the bottom. Don't worry if they break up a bit, it's not a problem. So also make sure you get a fair bit of that sauce, because there should be a bit left, but it will be nice and thick now. So you can layer the potato and then grab some lamb. So you're going to use about 120 grams of lamb, that left over, and then just tear it up and kind of scatter it on top. And we're just going to gradually build up layers until we've got almost like a dome in the middle, giving yourself a couple of centimeters each side, just so that you can put the thing on top and get it sealed. There we go. So just keep going until you get that lovely kind of dome over the top. Plenty of layers of potato and onions and lamb in there, and it's there's a little bit left on the Dauphinoise side, but you know, that's for me later. I can just munch my way through that before this is cooked. So now you're just gonna grab your second disc, you're gonna lay that over the top. And then you wanna squeeze it down. Make sure you pull it back up. I always like to pull it towards the center. That way I know it fits. So that if I don't lay it on top and I just guess, there's no way I'll know. So, a little bit of water all around the edge. And then just gradually squeeze it down, push it onto that base. So there we go. That's nicely done. Now we're just going to crimp that outside. So to do that, I'm just going to pull it up towards the middle. Thumb and two fingers. Put your teeth back in, Gareth. And just squeeze each of those bits together. And then once you've crimped it, just give them all a good squeeze. See if you can get a really nice seal. With any luck, it won't all fall out. Always paranoid about this. Especially when I'm doing it on a camera. Could be in trouble. But I always said, what you see is what you get. So now, I'm just going to make a little hole in the top. And then I'm going to score the edges slightly. So not going through the puff, just halfway in, just to give it an attempt at a nice pattern. You never know, it might come out, it might not. Awesome, so that's done. And what you'll find is, with puff pastry especially, it's got warm while I've been handling it. So all I'm gonna do now is pop that in the fridge. I'm gonna leave it there for at least half an hour. But for me, it's gonna be a little bit longer. I'm just gonna leave it until I'm ready to cook it when the wife gets home from work. So that can pop in the fridge, and that should help it kind of stiffen up slightly and actually help some of those seals kind of really grip to each other. So I will see you when this is ready to cook. Okay, so there's my Pithivier, all kind of nicely chilled, and he's made an enormous difference to it. Just the texture changes entirely, so much better. So now we're just gonna get a little bit of egg, beat it up. We're gonna spread that all over. Give it a really good covering, making sure as well, just to get all of those edges. That last bit of egg on it could help any chance of it popping open. There we go, perfect. Now we're just going to get into the oven, 180 degrees C for 40 minutes. And that's going to give it that lovely golden colour. So let's crack on. There we go. Let's see what we've got. I really hope this is top notch. Oh, hello. There we go. It worked. It absolutely worked. Love it. Right, let's get this over and serve it up. Awesome. So just want to show you the inside. So we're just going to pop it here and just cut a nice slice out. So you can't believe how happy I am that this worked. It's kind of weird when you're saying to people, I'm only going to show you what actually happens. It just brings this level of being utterly terrified that something's going to go wrong. Even when you've done it a few times and it all looked good, you never know. But I'm just going to take a little slice out of that, pull it back, and you'll see it just oozes out, and you just know it's going to be delicious. You've got those like oozing Dauphinoise potatoes, and that lamb is going to bring so much flavour from when we cooked it the other day. It's going to be great. So I'm going to go off and eat it. Now, I hope you enjoy this. I hope you give it a go. And again, I'll see you tomorrow.